Hi guys, thanks for joining us. We just finished up another day at Wilson Wonders Academy. And for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Daphne Wilson, and I am an associate principal, a curriculum writer, an educational consultant, and a staff trainer. But most importantly, you guys, I'm a mom. I decided to make this video because of some of the feedback that you guys have been giving us from Facebook and because of an experience that I had last Sunday. Last Sunday, I was sitting down and I was trying to get everything organized for the upcoming week, and I just really felt overwhelmed. And I realized that if I was sitting here having all of this trouble trying to get myself organized for the learning that my kids have to do, the work that I have to do, and then the additional meetings that I have to participate in, that I just really can't be the only person feeling like this. And so, there has to be a way to sort of like systemize what it is that I'm trying to do. And so here's the system, the video, right? So the purpose of this video ultimately, you guys, is to reduce your stress and anxiety as a parent, to reduce overscheduling and downtime for your child, and then just to help you establish your routine in this pandemic society that just kind of helps everybody stay sane and manage what is happening. So I'm gonna give you 5 steps over the course of this video, and hopefully you find them really, really helpful. If you do, hit like and subscribe, and then you can continue to get more updates from the other videos that we have that are just part of this series. Okay, so you guys, when you are trying to just manage everything that has to go on, the first thing I want you to realize is before this pandemic hit the United States, our lives used to be very sort of compartmentalized. We had systems and routines in the sense that we would get up in the morning, we knew we went to work or school from this time to this time, then we would come home and we would do whatever those afternoon routines are. Now it just sort of seems or feels like all of those worlds have collided. So the way that you can sort of manage this collision is to sort of start by creating for you and your family sort of like a weekly calendar. So step 1 of that process is for you to choose a day at the end of the week. So I recommend choosing Saturday or Sunday as that day, but Friday is of course an option. The reason why you want to choose a day at the end of the week is because that gives like your job time to send you emails about upcoming meetings. It gives your kids' teachers time to let you know, hey, we're gonna have Zoom meetings this week, or this particular assignment and or project is due on this day. So again, you want to choose like Friday, Saturday, or Sunday to just sort of sit down and sort of begin to start to process what you have to do and have your kids do over the course of the upcoming week. So after you just sort of choose your day, the next step, you guys, is going to be to choose your tool. And so I sort of have 4 different tools that you can use, and I'm going to show those to you right now just to kind of give you a visual. I'm a visual person, so I think people appreciate visuals, so hopefully these help. The first tool option, and don't talk about my calendar, we're in a pandemic society, so I had to use what I could find. Okay, so the first tool that you can use is like the old school desk calendar. Okay, tool option number 1. Tool option number 2, guys, is again a version of the old school desk calendar, but it's like the dry erase. So tool option number 2. If like that whole month view is like just too much for you going on at one time, then let me see this company. Desktop Collection, this company, makes a weekly version of this old school wall calendar, desk calendar. So tool option number 3. Tool option number 4 is going to be available to you through the video. It's just a daily schedule. It's a handout that I made that you can use as well. Okay, so there are 4 options for you. If I can get the option to stay still. Okay. So you guys, after you choose your tool, you want to then begin to think through or to process the number of hours you want to structure. So you're not going to structure a 24-hour day. You're just going to structure maybe 8 hours of the day, 6 hours of the day, 7 hours of the day. So that's important because you want to plot it out on your tool. So I've chosen my tool, and then I've chosen the amount of hours I'm going to work through, okay? So after you choose your amount of hours and you choose your tool, and again, this is all part of step number 1. This is like 1A, 1B, 1C. The next thing you want to do, you guys, is you want to go ahead and tell your children, hey guys, we're gonna sort of get ourselves organized, and we're gonna be implementing a system, and that system is going to be driven by this tool. Okay? So after you involve your children, step 3 is going to be for you and your children to sit down, and you guys have to begin with what is required. So definitely, like, what do you mean by that? Well, there are certain time slots in your day that are like non-negotiable. There are certain periods of your day that have been dedicated. And so what I mean by that is that, like, your child's teacher has either communicated with you via Class Dojo, via email, or whatever virtual landing site your child's school district may be using. And so they are saying, hey, I want to have a Zoom meeting with your kid at this time. I want to stream some kind of video. I want your child to watch it this time. So those things are non-negotiable. Those things are things you cannot change. Your job may also say, hey, we're going to have a virtual meeting. And so that is something that you cannot change. So what you do is you take your tool, you take your child, you have your child sit down. If their teacher is communicating with email, then you have your child go ahead and pull up the email so that they can comb through the emails to sort of, again, see what time is non-negotiable. And then you would also do this too. So you're, 1, choosing a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday to begin this process. You're number 2, you're choosing your tool. And then the third thing you're doing, you guys, is you are beginning with what is required. So after you pull up the email, the dojo, whatever it is, you're going to take your calendar, and I've just kind of pre-sectioned mine off. And again, you can section your calendar out however you like. Again, these are just suggestions. So then you're going to go ahead and plot out the required things. So I have 4 children, you guys. I don't know how many you have, but what I like to do is sometimes it's hard for me to keep the lives of 4 children and myself and my husband straight. And so everybody has a color. So that may be something else that you want to consider adding. So I know that anytime I see this color, it's something to do with Asada. Anytime I see blue, is something for Hunter. Anytime I see purple, it's Zoe. And then anytime I see orange, it's Brian. So again, now I can see everybody's things that are required. So this also helps me because it helps me to be able to see where my resources may get overwhelmed. So I see, like, right here between this 9 and 10 o'clock hour, 3 of my 4 children have Zoom meetings. So that means that I have to have 3 devices available. Well, I might not have 3 devices available. So if I can see that early on in the week, then I can email somebody's teacher and say, hey, is this the only time slots you have available for the Zoom? And in most instances, most of these teachers they have multiple time slots available. What they try to do is they try to keep certain time slots allocated for certain class periods or certain sections of kids. And so most times there's some flexibility there. And if you have a resource restriction issue in terms of like your electronic devices, then this allows me to see it now before the week even starts so that I can go ahead and troubleshoot it. It also helps me to see that I may need some additional support with helping my kids to execute. And so I may need to reach out to like my husband to help me, make sure that the kids are good logging into their Zooms. So we're still in step 3. We are beginning with what is required. We know that to do that, we have to have our kids there so that they can check their emails, they can check text messages, dojo, whatever. There are so many ways people are communicating right now. So then after we begin with what is required, you guys, step 4 means that we want to put some balance into the schedule. So if we're going to operate off of a 7-hour day or 8-hour day, we balance the required learning with some downtime or some strategic breaks for our kids. Now, I can't tell you how to build in those breaks, but I can tell you how to think about the breaks. You know your children, right? So I know, for example, that Asada functions way better in the morning. So I may give her fewer breaks, fewer recess moments, fewer opportunities to color, fewer opportunities to play on a device in the morning, because she's more focused and she's just more focused in the morning. So I'll give her fewer breaks in the morning. Like Hunter is really even keel, so he knows, he's very focused just overall. So I just know that for him, I can do like a 50-50. I can let him do some work, then I can give him a break. Let him do some work, give him a break. Okay. For my other son, Brian, he's young, and I know young kids have a problem just in general sitting still. So the way that I think about that is I want to give him short bursts of instructional pieces. So let him watch his instructional Zoom and then let him do something fun, right? Because he's 7. So his attention span is like 10 minutes and then it's done. So that's how you want to kind of think about the breaks. My oldest daughter, Zoe, she's in middle school. I know for her, if you have a teenager, they're all about just let me get my work done and then be free for the rest of the day. So she does more concentrated scheduling, in the sense that pretty much every day from 9 to 12, she's doing classwork. We have lunch at 12 o'clock at my house, and then after lunch is I don't see her. She goes into her wonderful world of being a teenager. So again, you want to balance the instruction or the structuredness, the structured activities with breaks. Okay, so that's our step 4. And another reason, you guys, and I just want to kind of say this because I think it's important to note, the other reason why you want to balance the curriculum pieces or the learning pieces with breaks is because the breaks allow your kids the time to synthesize the information that they've just taken in, but it also allows their brains the opportunity to recharge and to rejuvenate. So schoolwork, then breaks, okay? The last thing you want to do, you guys, after you work through the schedule with your students, is you want to determine or identify a centralized location where you're going to store this, so that everybody knows when they wake up in the morning, they go to this one place to check on the calendar, so they can kind of see an overview of their day, yourself included. So if you guys all come around the table for breakfast every day, then maybe you want to put the calendar or the calendars by the breakfast nook. If you do you let your kids make individual calendars, then maybe you want to let them hang them up in their room. Again, just some ideas for you. Maybe you have a family central and you want to put the calendar in family central. So the last step is that this has to be in a centralized place, because it has to become part of what you guys do every day. You check your calendars to just kind of get an overview. So as a recap, 5 steps, you guys, to sort of getting yourself organized and ready for the week. Step 1 is that you're going to choose either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday as your planning day. Step 2 is that you're going to choose a tool. Your tool can be a week calendar, or a week at a glance calendar, a month at a glance calendar, dry erase version, month at a glance calendar paper version, or you can use the handout that I'm making available to you guys for watching this video, which just allows you to give each kid their own individual calendar, and then you can have them, again, put that up in your centralized location. So choose your day, choose your tool, begin with what is required, balance requirements with breaks, and then centralize where everything is located. The last thing that I really want to emphasize, you guys, is that this particular process, the process of calendaring, is a really great process to involve your child with, because it just teaches them like a skill that is so valuable for life. Like, how many of us wished that somebody would have taught us how to think through, organize, and calendar out our day, like when we were younger? And so this is an opportunity for you to do that, and an opportunity for you to make life a little bit easier. So I think my kids are telling me that it's time for me to wrap up. I hope that you found this video very helpful. Again, this is a series of videos, and so if you want to know more, want to see more, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, join us on Facebook, join us on Twitter. We go live from inside of our little Wilson Wonders Academy on a regular basis, and so it could be just an opportunity for you guys to have a laugh, because sometimes it is very unpredictable in there. And it can also be an opportunity for you to join us and to participate with us in all of the things that we have going on. So thanks for your time, you guys. Can't wait to see you soon.